If you're feeling drained by work and are wondering if your dream job even exists, it does. But you can't find your dream job, you have to design it. And today I'll show you how. A friend of mine recently sent me this framework, and I wish it was something that every entrepreneur was forced to read before starting their companies. But since that's not our reality, by the end of this video, you'll be one step ahead of most people in their career because you'll have a clear sense of your Sparketype. And by the way, if you're new here, I'm Bailey. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Perimeter, a public safety startup serving millions of people around the US. Today, I'm breaking down 3 takeaways from the book Sparketype to help you design your dream job. I'll cover what the Sparketype is and how you can use it to create your dream job immediately, how to use your Sparketype to change what you say yes to and what to delegate as soon as possible, and how to use the Sparketype test to increase productivity and enthusiasm across your team, or how to know who to hire in the first place. Let's start with what the Sparketype actually is. Sparketype is an assessment created by Jonathan Fields that helps you identify the kind of work that makes you feel most alive, what he calls your spark. The assessment shows what kind of work uniquely fuels you and what kind uniquely drains you. Each person has 3 Sparketypes. Your primary Sparketype is the type of work that naturally energizes you the most. It's kind of like where you find your calling. The shadow Sparketype is your secondary type. You might be really good at this and it can fuel you, but it usually operates in support of your primary archetype. That's where you have your underlying motivation. And then there's your anti-Sparketype, which is the type of work that drains you the fastest. This work is never going to feel energizing for you, even if you're very capable of doing it. Understanding all 3 will help you to see where you naturally excel, so you can start designing your role to match your strengths and create your dream job. Okay, so there are 10 Sparketypes, and as you hear these, think about which one sounds the most like you. There's the maker, who's driven to make ideas a reality, the maven, driven to learn, the scientist, driven to solve problems, the essentialist, driven to create order and systems. There's the performer, who's driven to energize and inspire others, the warrior, driven to advocate and gather people around a cause, the sage, driven to teach and share wisdom, the advisor, driven to guide others, the nurturer, driven to care for and support others, and the advocate, who's driven to champion ideals and individuals. Comment below with the Sparketype that resonates with you the most. For me, learning about mine explained why I feel so fulfilled when I'm teaching frameworks or advocating for our customers and communities facing natural disasters. It confirmed where I should spend the majority of my time to stay energized and effective. Second, here's how you can use your Sparketype to change what you say yes to and what you should delegate as soon as possible. Once you know your Sparketype, you can start designing your work around it. Ask yourself which projects align best with my unique abilities. For me, that meant leaning into opportunities where I could mentor my team and advocate for our customers. It also meant saying no to work that drained me and approaching it differently to better match my strengths. This is how you can start creating your dream job today, regardless of where you work at the moment. And if you've been watching my High Performance Habits series, you know that any lasting change is something you create with 1-degree shifts, not all at once. And if building habits is something you're interested in, I'll be hosting a live habit acceleration coaching call with a Q&A. It's totally free, and by the end of it, you'll have a clear path to building a habit that really matters to you. The webinar details will be sent to anyone who downloads the Habit Accelerator, so just click the link below and grab yours, and I'll add your name to the list. And finally, here's how you can use the Sparketype test to increase your productivity and enthusiasm on your team. If you lead people, knowing their Sparketype isn't just helpful, it shifts how you delegate and how you support them. When we took the assessment as a team, I learned who was an essentialist, who is a maker, and who is a maven. This changes how I assign projects. Instead of delegating based only on skill set or capacity, I started asking who would actually feel energized by this work. Because when people are matched with projects that align with their Sparketype, they're not just more productive, they're more engaged, fulfilled, and motivated. It's also important to understand your anti-Sparketype because it shows that there's nothing wrong with you if certain types of work tends to leave you feeling completely drained. What you need is a teammate whose Sparketype is that kind of work. I didn't have this specific language at the time, but one of our first hires was someone whose skill set was completely different than mine. My anti-Sparketype is the essentialist. And as soon as both of us took this test, I looked over at him and I said, "Let me guess, you're the essentialist, huh?" And of course, the answer was yes. Knowing that has already made it easier for me to hand over leadership where process and structure is concerned. Here are the 3 steps to start designing your dream job using the Sparketype right now. First, you can take the Sparketype assessment. It's free and takes about 10 minutes. I'll have it linked below. 2, you can reflect on your current work and ask yourself which projects align best with your unique abilities and which ones consistently leave you feeling exhausted. And where do you have opportunities to delegate something that drains you? Now you can start the redesign process. This doesn't necessarily mean changing jobs. Sometimes it means volunteering for initiatives that energize you, shifting the projects you prioritize, or slowly offloading draining tasks. Although, unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to completely eliminate email. Hopefully one of you starts that company. Aligning your work with what actually sparks you isn't just about feeling good. It's what allows you to do your very best work and have the biggest impact possible. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.